The Indus Valley Civilization. The lost superpower. What if one of the greatest civilizations in human history vanished? And we still don't fully understand why? Long before Rome, before Greece, even before many Egyptian monuments, a civilization thrived with advanced cities, engineered drainage systems, standardized construction, and a writing system we still cannot read. Then, it disappeared. This is the story of the Indus Valley Civilization, history's lost superpower. Part 1. A city ahead of its time. Around 2600 BCE, cities like Mohenjo-daro and Harappa were thriving urban centers. But these were not chaotic settlements. They were carefully planned. Streets were laid out in grid patterns, straight, intersecting at right angles. Buildings were constructed using standardized baked bricks. Homes often had private wells. Public baths were centrally located. This was not accidental growth. This was organized urban design, nearly 4,500 years ago. While many civilizations focused on palaces and monuments, the Indus people prioritized infrastructure. Which brings us to something even more extraordinary. Part 2. The advanced drainage system. The Indus Valley Civilization built one of the most advanced sanitation systems of the ancient world. Almost every house had access to a drainage system. Wastewater flowed through covered brick channels beneath the streets. Inspection holes were built for maintenance. Let that sink in. Underground sewage systems. In 2600 BCE, many cities thousands of years later did not match this level of sanitation. Archaeologists believe cleanliness was deeply important to their society. The Great Bath at Mohenjo-daro, a large public bathing structure, suggests ritual or social practices centered around water. This level of engineering implies not only skill, but centralized planning. Yet strangely, we find no massive royal tombs, no colossal statues of kings. Which raises a question. Who is in charge? Part 3. The writing we can't read. The Indus people left behind thousands of small seals, carved with animals, symbols, script. But there's a problem. We still cannot read it. Despite decades of research, the Indus script remains undeciphered. It contains short sequences of symbols, too brief to easily decode. There is no Rosetta Stone equivalent to compare it with known languages. Was it a full language? A trade code? A religious script? Without understanding their writing, we cannot hear their voice. We know how they built. We know how they engineered. But we do not know what they believed. Or how they govern themselves. It's like discovering a modern city, but being unable to read any of its signs. Part 4. A trade superpower. Evidence suggests the Indus Valley Civilization traded with Mesopotamia. Artifacts have been found thousands of kilometers away. Standardized weights and measures show economic sophistication. This was not an isolated society. It was globally connected, by ancient standards. And yet, despite its scale and influence, something happened. Part 5. The mysterious disappearance. Around 1900 BCE, major cities began to decline. But there is no clear evidence of violent invasion. No burned layers suggesting massive destruction. Instead, scholars suggest gradual climate change, shifting river patterns, possible drought. The once mighty Indus River may have altered its course. Urban centers slowly emptied. People migrated eastward. The superpower faded, not with war, but with environmental transformation. Still, the exact cause remains debated. Was it climate? Economic breakdown? Internal restructuring? We do not know. Conclusion. The Silent Civilization. The Indus Valley Civilization mastered urban planning, sanitation, and trade. It built cities centuries ahead of their time. And yet, its writing remains unread. Its leaders unknown. Its final chapter unclear. Perhaps the greatest mystery is not that they vanished. It is that they were so advanced, and yet so silent. History remembers monuments. But sometimes, the most powerful civilizations leave behind puzzles. And, we are still trying to solve them. Watch out for our next episode.